Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Stark, and I'm back with another story. But this story is a nonfiction story, and it's actually a science story. And because today is a very special day, Earth Day, that is the story I promised. I told you to be watching in your Stark stuff for a story about the moon, the earth, especially today. So if you look right here, this is what the cover looks like. What makes day and night? And it is written by Franklyn M. Branley, and it's illustrated by Arthur Doros. Now, I always say the author, and I always say the illustrator, because I think it's important to recognize their work, their efforts. While we may not know them, they also might inspire us to read other books by them that if we like that one, I'm sure we'll like the other ones that they perhaps have written. All right, so before we read, I do like for us to always think about some words that are going to be in the story. So be listening for these. Of course, we have our word earth, and that's Earth Day. And then we have the word turning. And I put that one there. I know you know what turning is, something that turns and turns around, but it has the ing. And so if I take the ing away, we discover the root word or the base word. That's a good thing. We could also add ed and make it turned. We could also add an s and make it turns. But I want you to listen. You're going to hear the word turn, turns, and turning. For sure, turning. But then we might look at this word and go, what is that word? It has an awful lot of words, or an awful lot of letters, excuse me. So when we look at it, look for a chunk. Look for a word that you might be familiar with. So I'm kind of looking, I see those OOs there. It makes me think of the moon. But I also see that there's a base word or hidden word, and that word is smooth. And so when we add the ly, smoothly, it's a great describing word, how something moves or feels or perhaps tastes. So we're going to find out how they use that word in the story. I chose this word too, spacecraft. And spacecraft, if you'll notice, has two words inside the word. I bet you're thinking right now, Miss Stark, that's a compound word. And I'm going to draw a line between the two words. Space could be, I know you know what that is, like a space between your words. And craft might be something you might go buy at the store and create a little hobby of some kind. But spacecraft takes our thoughts to orbiting and the skies and the galaxy and the solar system and astronauts. So spacecraft will be in our story. And then the last one, rotation. Now we already talked about that one recently, but we know hidden inside the word rotation is rotate. So that will show up in our story today. All right, it's time to get started. I can't wait. Let's begin. What makes day and night? Hey, look at that picture. Do you see the moon? Now, we've talked a little bit about this on our Stark stuff. We're looking for this name of that moon. It's the crescent. It is a crescent moon, and it's one of the stages of the moon, or one of the phases. So the crescent moon makes me think of crescent rolls too that we can buy in the grocery store. All right, here we go. Oh, I love these pictures. I hope you can see them well. All right. Okay, we all live on Earth. That's a nice, simple, strong statement. The Earth is our planet. It is round like a big ball, and it is spinning. What a great illustration. It is spinning. It is hard to believe that the Earth is always turning because we don't feel any motion. This is because the Earth spins smoothly. There's that word. Always at the same speed. Now, boys and girls, if we were on our carpet in the classroom, I would ask you to stand up and stand very still and see if you could feel yourself moving. And of course we wouldn't. We would not feel ourselves moving because it does move very slowly and it is very smoothly but you would, in fact, be moving on the earth, or the earth would be moving and you're sitting on it. Here we go. This is a photograph of the earth. Let me show that to you. It's an actual photograph. It's beautiful. It was taken by a camera aboard the Apollo 17 spacecraft. You can see that the earth is round. I bet that was an exciting moment for those photographer astronauts. If you were way out in space and watching the earth, you would see it spin. The earth spins around once in 24 hours. Light from the sun falls on one half of the spinning earth. I bet you know what that light is. The half in the light has day. The other half is dark. It is in the earth's shadow. That half has night. As the earth spins, we move through the light into the darkness and back again. We have day and night. Okay? Imagine you are a spacecraft high above the North Pole. Imagine you can stay there 24 hours and watch the earth make one complete turn. All right, there's our earth. There's the North Pole, the South Pole, and the sun is hitting the earth right there. Everybody who lives on that part of the earth is awake probably and enjoying their day. Everyone on this side of the earth is sleeping. They're asleep or they're enjoying evening time. All right, and there's a picture of the children looking out the spacecraft window. As the earth turns, we have sunrise, daylight, sunset, and night. People at A have sunrise. Here we go. Right up there. They would have sunrise. Later, because the earth is turning, they are at B. Now, I know this is very hard, but there are some people up there. Do you see them? But as it rotates to B, look what happens. It is the middle of the day for them, and it is noontime. I want you to see that up close. Now they're full on that sun. Now over here in this picture, we see that the earth is rotated and now the people are here. I bet you know what's next. As the earth turns, it carries them to C. They have sunset. By the time they reach D, it is the middle of the night for them. It is midnight. At the end of 24 hours, they have sunrise again. They've gone what we like to call full circle. You've heard that expression before. You can see how we move from daylight to darkness by doing an experiment. You will be the earth and a lamp will be the sun. All right, now here's a picture of a boy, and you could do this too. He's got his father standing over there with the lamp, and he's probably helping him complete this experiment. But there's the light, and he's facing it on the young boy. And right there we see this part of the boy is in the light. This lamp is not hitting. He's in the dark. So this side, if you were to imagine him as the earth, is awake and during the daytime. This side is having nighttime. I hope that is understandable. Let's keep reading. Stand so that your left side is toward the lamp. Hold your arms out all the way. Your left hand points towards the lamp. This is sunrise. Stay in the same spot. Keep your arms out from your sides and turn to your left. Now the lamp is in front of you. It is the middle of the day. It is noontime. Keep turning until your right hand points toward the lamp. You are turning away from the light. It is sunset. Keep turning until your back is toward the lamp. It is night. but your back is in the daylight. Half of you is always light and half is dark. It's the same with the earth. Good job. Here's a picture of the sun, and there's a picture of the earth, and you'll see it looks like a crescent almost, but that's not the moon, that's the earth. It's just the light hitting it. The earth is always turning. It never stops. Round and round it goes, and it goes very fast, about 1,000 miles an hour. As the earth turns, we are always moving from day to night and from night to day. You can see this happen. If you are awake very early, you can see sunrise. The earth is moving you toward the sun. There's a picture of the little boy, and he sees the sun coming up. Now, I want you to think about that. Is the sun actually coming up? No, the earth is turning. It's rotating. The sun is really not moving. The earth keeps turning. Later in the day, we begin to turn away from the sun. You can see sunset. About 24 hours after sunrise, the sun will rise again. It all happens because the earth is spinning around. Okay, sunrise, noon, when we're exactly facing the sun, and sunset, where it appears it's going down, but it's the earth turning away from it. As the earth turns, the sun seems to move across the sky. Oh, there's our phases. I knew it was coming. All right, this moon's a pretty interesting place, says astronaut number 1. This one says, but 2 weeks of night? Now let's find out what that means. 2 weeks of night on the moon? If you were on the moon, you would also have day and night. But, oh, there's that word but, so there's something going to happen here. The moon spins very slowly, so days and nights are long. Places on the moon have 2 weeks of daylight and 2 weeks of darkness. During one night on the moon, the earth spins around 14 times. Wow. The turning earth gives us about 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. Did you hear what it says about? About. We have, I always like to remind ourselves that sometimes we set our clocks back and we set our clocks forward, and so that can kind of affect the darkness. So let me start that again. The turning earth gives us about 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. That seems just about right for all of us on the planet Earth. There's a picture of them playing outside. Looks like maybe the season is springtime in that picture, doesn't it? All right, that was a great story. I loved it. And I have a picture for you that I want to show you. And you could maybe draw this as well. If you're looking for something fun to do, you can get a piece of notebook paper or drawing paper and start by drawing a beautiful picture of the sun. And don't forget to label. Remember, we're experts at labeling. And then after you draw your sun, if you look over here, draw a picture of the earth. And you can draw a picture of you, or maybe you and a friend. If you live on this side of the earth and the sun is facing you, you are getting sunlight. Very good. But your friend over here is sleeping because his part of the world is away from the sun, so it's dark there. But then take that, make sure you draw yourself the same color in the same clothing, because down here, draw yourself over here, and we used a pink dress on the little character there, pink dress here, and blue and blue. You want to show, let me hold that up carefully so you can see it. You want to show the same persons on each example of the earth. And when the little pink person character here turns away from the sun, they are in the nighttime and they're sleeping, where this one has rotated back around and is now in the daytime. I hope that makes sense. So that would be fun to maybe draw a picture of that and hang it on your refrigerator. And the last thing that I would like to challenge you to do is to choose a spot outside in your yard or in your driveway and stand out there every morning at the same time and look at the sun. Then go back out at noontime, exactly 12 o'clock or close to it. And where's the sun at that point in that same exact spot? And then go back out later around, say 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Go out there in the late afternoon and see where the sun is at that time. But again, go back to your same spot that you were at. You might want to create a little chart or a landscape and draw a picture of your house or your driveway to show where the sun is at those times of the day. That would be sort of fun, and I think that would make you feel like you were a scientist. So I hope you'll consider doing that. I think you'll love it. And before we go, I did want to do one more fun thing. I'm going to erase these words that we know now in our head, and I wanted to do a quick math connection. Even though we're doing science, I think it's always important to do a little something extra to kind of integrate. So let's say we'd heard that 12 hours are in a day, 12 hours in a night, and remember that was about. If we wanted to add those together, we could go, and I'm going to put the imaginary line there, but you don't always have to have it. You just know where it is. And I know on your side of the screen, we're thinking about which side should we do first, and there is a rule. Always, always, always start with the one side first. And there it is. 2 plus 2 equals, I know you know, 4. And now that we're done with the ones, we can't forget the tens. They're over there going, don't forget us. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now that's a winner chicken dinner. That was easy and fast. Let's do another one. Sometimes, I was painting something the other day and they said, please allow 48 hours. 48 hours for the paint to dry. Don't put anything on it and don't touch it for 48 hours. I'm like, well, how do I figure out how long that is? Do I need to count up all the hours on the clock? So I thought, well, I'm going to take 24, and that's one day. Let's try 2 days. Let's try 2 days. All right. So, imaginary line. We're doing 2-digit adding. I better put that plus sign. Sorry, I forgot that. So which side do we do first? Always, always, always start with the one side first. 4 plus 4 equals, yes indeed, 8. Don't forget the tens. 2 plus 2 is 4. So now I know that I have to wait 1 day plus another day for my paint to dry. 48 hours. Wow, that's pretty exciting. All right, boys and girls, just a little fun thing. And if you're thinking, what else can I do when I'm done doing the moon? Do some more adding, and maybe get out your spiral notebook and do a little more thinking. I hope everybody enjoyed that. That's just a little fun thing today for your Earth Day. Go outside, look at the beautiful trees. They're almost all the way in bloom. They're beautiful. So, and see if you have any more flowers coming up. Happy Earth Day. Love you guys.